Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Wish for Mercury. So let's go ahead and see what everyone's been saying over here. We got Lee Hong Jun saying, I'm going to assume the Swartz Gundam is going to be piloted by Ghoul in the future episodes. If that's the case, I wonder at the time, will the data storm problem be solved? I don't think Prospera is going to ruin Mjorn's plans for revenge. If she did that, what's the point of the deal about Mjorn becoming the next president?
Those are actually two different comments. I just put them together.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Uh,
Also, I don't think Ghoul has permit link.
that is true, but I have a feeling that might not stop a lot of things.
Well, I
Like
mean,
the dramatic finale is like everyone in the data storm fighting each other, and like they found some way around it so that they're fine at the end.
no, I'm saying Schwartz. If the Schwartz is a
Mhm.
Gundam, I don't think Ghoul has permit link.
Right. The data storm also like controls like the drones and stuff. So like taking control of like the individual Gundam bits.
I don't think you're following me, Griff. If the Schwartz is a Gundam, I don't think Ghoul has permit link. Now read the first line again.
I'm going to assume the Swartz Gundam is going to be piloted by Ghoul.
Right. And I said, Ghoul, I don't think has permit link.
Okay, there's no reason that can't change. There's no reason that they can't make some sort of workaround. This is fiction, man. He's getting in the Gundam.
Whatever, Griff. I clearly we're not working on the same page.
Look, we'll get a scene of Ghoul being rebuilt as the $1 million man, alright?
Well, Ghoul also doesn't have control of the data storm, so I don't. All your previous comments also still don't make sense.
All right. Well, at least as far as Prospera and Mjorn, they are in some way on the same page, but like I don't know. I guess it comes down to what's your read on Prospera and how trustworthy she is. Would she just stab somebody in the back? I know it's a hard read, right?
Well, I mean, she's had all the opportunities. That's why it makes it hard to read. I mean, like the time she was just standing right next to Delling, or the fact that she
Mhm.
was on a station with Delling, who's in a coma or whatever right now, and could have
Mhm.
done anything there too. It's like,
She
when
is
is the shot most opportune that she will stab you in the back to take it? Because it
right.
seems like she's had plenty.
She's crazy. She's deceitful. She's very genuine though most of the
I don't think
time.
she's crazy. Why do you think
I mean,
she's
I'm being a
crazy?
little facetious. That's the vibe she's got. But I don't think that she's going to necessarily plan to stab in the back. But at the same time,
I mean,
Kogios, right?
I would
When's the
argue.
last time a princess went down to hold a big magnanimous gesture and it went right?
I mean, I would also argue she doesn't have a crazy vibe either. She holds herself pretty stoic most of the time.
Mm. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next comment. We got Mary here saying, hello, thanks for reading my comments. Sorry if it was long. So apparently, Amazon of Japan leaked this episode early by accident, so a lot of people were posting spoilers in the internet.
Episode 17.
Yep. Anyone who gets why Ghoul reacted in surprise after seeing Kanaji Avery, I'm laughing with you. Also, Prospera's going to have an awkward reunion with him knowing what happened in the prologue. Something interesting about Lada walking away from the dark hallway is symbolizing that he wants to get out of his brother's shadow. The theory is that Suletta might steal Gundam Swartz to go to Earth. Based on the next episode's title, someone is probably going to die. Yeah, I think we feel a bit about the same with like somebody's gonna die. It's gonna happen. We're coming. Stealing the Gundam Swartz though, that actually makes a whole lot of sense.
Yes, because Suletta has permit link.
No, I thought it was clarified that she doesn't,
She does.
or that
You
she
s-
hadn't used it the entire time until she was literally
you
attacked.
saw it last episode.
Yeah, literally last episode. And just going right back up, Lauda's story of like at once like being happy to see his brother, needing to get the relief off, but also wanting to be out from underneath his shadow. Like it is fun and complicated, isn't it?
I mean,
I am kind of rooting for him in the
it's a
background.
weird interpretation if that's what that means, given that he literally was out of his brother's shadow and then decided himself to go back into it. It's like you move out of your house, move out of your parents' house, right? And you go and you start renting an apartment, you get a job, and then your life collapses around you, and you have to go move back into your parents because you have nowhere the fuck else to go, right?
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's ever had that happen to them before.
Right. Well, I mean, my point is, it's like somebody noticing you, moving back into your parents, and saying, "That's that guy. He's deciding to move out of his parents' shadow." While you're moving back in with your parents. That's where Lauda is right now, and that's where we're making this comment. That Lauda moved out of Ghoul's shadow. Ghoul came back. Lauda stepped down on his own and said, "That's a man who's moving out of his brother's shadow."
Uh, I think maybe like if we take the lighter interpretation in that direction,
Not
it's
gonna,
not
but go
like
ahead.
that he's trying to that like moving back in and all that. I think it's more he's going to try doing his own thing. That he's realized that like trying to do like the everything he was doing before probably wasn't just working for him.
That
So
would
he's gonna find a new thing to do.
that would work better if we'd ever been shown that Lauda had any interests that weren't everything that he just tried to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, the series isn't about Lana, so we'll come back to the
This
like.
series is literally about anybody
Yeah,
you've seen. Like I've chastised you all the time, Griff. You don't pay enough attention to the background characters in the show. The show
yeah,
is about them too.
yeah, that's true. Next comment though
Wait,
is
we're not
Logi.
done with this one.
Oh, okay.
The anyone who gets why Ghoul is surprised after he sees Kanaji Avery. I mean, Ghoul idolizes Dominicus, and Kanaji Avery was like the showboat guy of
Hmm.
the Dominicus group, and he was the tall skinny dude. Now he's a short fat guy.
Yeah. Uh. Oh god, he has all the information. I think just to remember right, Gould definitely was thinking of joining Dominicus before. Well, literally everything else happened, wasn't he?
Yes. I went
Yeah.
at length about that during one of Theta Thought sections.
Oh yeah, so let's get to the next comment. Logi Long says, so, now we know every electrical system in this world uses permit. Now Ariel can just hijack the world and hold it hostage, probably using the Gund nodes as amplifiers. In theory. Curious, to what drive Noria very quick to anger. We have Suletta being sus and ejected. Now, what that type of person will Suletta become? Finally, Suletta using more than the base permit level.
Now, not a swipe against Log A Long here, but it doesn't help when they're typing in broken English, and Griffin, you're adding words, I've noticed.
I tried to make it slightly more sensible, I swear to you.
It's just like I'm reading along, and it's like, wait, he didn't say that, Griffin. I'm just adding words now.
But yeah, taking over the world's electronics is maybe like one part of like the Quiet Zero plan. I mean, I've just been thinking about it from the personal side of Prospera. I haven't been thinking about like the practical side of it at all. What about you? What do you think? That sound like the plan?
I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
do have certain thoughts that cover this in my Theta's thoughts a bit, but
Okay.
I will say I don't think it's likely that they're going to use the gun nodes as amplifiers to take over the whole world. At least based on what we've seen. I mean, it's entirely
Mm-hmm.
possible. Prosper's been working on a plan for 17 years. Who knows what the fuck she's got?
She's gonna pop out with just like a moon-sized Gundam or something, you know? But as for Noria being quick to anger, I think like in the scene where she's trying to stab Elin 5, it's literally just because a space scene is talking back to her and she's not gonna have it. Um, but Elin eventually kind of hits it on the nose that it hurts because he knows her as well as he knows himself. They are both completely disposable, and he was aware of it first. So Elin 5 was being a jerk and just digging his hole. But yeah, Suletta has been ejected. She was too suspicious. She was the imposter. And yeah, Suletta has at least base permit. She has no one else now except her actual friends. Maybe she will evolve into something brand new here. Maybe there's something interesting. Who knows what's gonna happen next?
I
I guess
don't
that's what this episode's gonna be.
I don't know enough Pokemon names to make a joke there.
Unfortunate. We'll have to come back to watching every episode of Pokemon then. Fuzzy Bud here says, think Eri wanted to scare Suletta while also showing her why and the truth pain being the only way to get her to stay away. Yeah, no, I think that's like part of my own interpretation there too. I was kind of like worried, like, what is like the emotional or intellectual level of Eri here? And that's why it kind of like all felt so weird to me because I couldn't pin it down. But like the idea that maybe she literally cares and is trying to push someone away for their protection, like that's a classic drama move right there. She just did it in her creepy child way.
The one thing I never try to do, which apparently you're telling me is what you're always doing, is
Yeah.
try to figure out the emotional intelligence of a character. I myself am emotionally retarded. I know that's not a word we like to use anymore, but I think it fits. I am not progressed past like 12-year-old emotionally. I do not understand neither you nor myself.
Mhm.
Griff will attest to this, as I've talked to him many times about not understanding others.
Well, but at least here, like the only reason why it's questionable is because we don't really know the entirety of the state of Eri at any time. Is she still a little girl? Has she evolved over 17 years? Is she just a program now? I don't know. Where does she stand as a character? We got the most amount of her character literally last episode.
Well, Griff, death
For one
changes a
thing.
person.
Yeah, how does dying affect her here? These are the questions we need to know. Last comment here though is Jimmy the GBO2 says Kabe Don means like forcing a girl to a wall and confess.
That's a response to the G Witch video I recorded. I think I said specifically I don't know what that word means. So that's
Oh gosh.
Did you end up watching that, Griff?
No, I didn't.
That's a shame because they even talk about the song lyrics that we went over. That's why it was so important to me to try and get you to do a recording.
I just got to get you onto the cast so that you can talk with them. That's what we need.
They don't speak English as far as I know, so I did write them a letter that long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, never got read. Obvious reasons why. Because it was translated into Japanese poorly.
Theta, quick question answer. If you were suddenly on the cast, what character would you be playing?
Shoot, I'm trying to think of somebody in the background who gets what they want but doesn't get put into the... Oh, shit, what's his name from Burying House?
I don't know. I was going to suggest Lotta in that case, but...
No, Lotta has to go... Do you remember when Lotta was put through so much stress he passed out?
Yeah.
And was literally in a hospital bed? I've been in enough hospital beds. No, the person that's under Cecilia. I mean, not under her. They're both technically the same year. They're both on the dueling council. Literally, the kid only just, like, playing games. He just plays games on the dueling council all the time. The Haru speaks for him. It's like, dude doesn't have to do anything. And he's still in, like, one of the top families. So it's just like, cool.
Theta, you got games on your phone.
I don't have a phone, Griff. I don't have a phone. All
right. So, I think our next segment here is going to be What's on the Mind of Theta, a segment we like to call Theta's Thoughts. So, Theta, what are your thoughts?
All right, some of these might just be observations because I also didn't want things to pass from last episode without being said or seen.
Of course, we got like a whole bunch of images here, which we'll show on screen eventually.
Yep, not yet though. First I got is it's kind of funny that the episode I bring up the possibility of the Darabalde being a Gundam due to a throwaway line accusing Vim of something that we get the Schwartz, which is actually a Gundam made by Vim. And to clarify that statement, Episode 7's opening, Season 1, Episode 7, Vim says, "It's despicable of you to breach the agreement so casually." And one of the Peel CEOs says, "I believe you know a thing or two about that yourself." The thing I've been bringing up for like a season now as a line that nobody seemed to remember. And that's the shorts. That's the indication that Vim was working on shorts. And I was thinking maybe it was a Dirtball Day because we hadn't seen the shorts. And I think I had forgotten about it, even though I brought it up to you in the mid-season stuff. Because they came out with the Gunpla for it.
Yeah, it's very much a reoccurring thing, or maybe even a theme at this point, for all these corporations to chastise something publicly and then to turn around and immediately be doing it in the dark themselves constantly.
Well, I mean, it indicates that Peel knew that Vim was making a Gundam. So, we didn't know at the time, and apparently would not have known for a long time. But I kept thinking about that. It's like, why would they say he knew something about that himself?
And everyone just went, because Vim's a jerk.
Well, that's why I voted him one of my most interesting characters of the show. Because as I said even during that, Vim's up to something, I know it.
Next Vim brothers up to no good.
Next couple ones are just bits from the news reports.
Of course.
Why have tensions in Quinn Harbor escalated into wider military conflict? That's right, conflict. I said what I said. Spacefront economy suffers new blow from anti-Spacian terrorists. Violent protests in Quinn Harbor recall dark memories of drone war era. Rising anti-Spacian terrorism risks interplanetary war. Benneret security forces announce intensified anti-riot actions in Quinn Harbor. Teenage casualties as Spacian forces clash with anti-Spacian group.
You know, that might actually be referencing the literal episode Ghoul was a part of.
Well, I don't know. Those seemed like actual kids, not teenagers.
There were other refugees involved. The whole point of it was moving the camp, so maybe some more died.
I don't know. We do tend to get more casualties than we see on screen. If anything, I think it would imply the school conflict, since we know that's all teenagers and adults.
True. So lots of things happening on Earth. It's already getting pretty bad there.
All right. The moment Aerie blasts Suletta with permit information, we see a flash of images. I played them all back at slow speed, and they are the events of the prologue. From Cardo Naboo up to Nadim dying from Permascore 3. So I was wrong. Aerie wasn't trying to hurt Suletta. She was using the information properties of permit to give Suletta all of Aerie's memories.
We'll have to see that. I want to see that.
We did see that. That was last episode.
Well, I mean, I want to see Suletta talk more about it in the upcoming episode. Just because it's like, oh my gosh, I never knew.
Yeah, because there was no time in between. Like, she got kicked out after that, and then she met her mother, and then she was crying in space.
Yeah, the biggest possible drama bomb. It's like, oh yeah, my younger sibling died for all of this, and then kicked out into space by them. It's like, wow.
Alright, I've written this one down, but I'm actually having second thoughts about it.
Okay.
Prospera docked Ariel to the underside of Mjorn's shuttle on its way to Earth, so highly unlikely that Mjorn is going to be the one to rescue Suletta floating in space. I only have second thoughts about it from the perspective of I think actually Prospera docked Ariel to a different shuttle and not Mjorn's shuttle.
They're still going to the same place eventually.
Well, we already saw Mjorn's shuttle take off.
And I feel like, at least from Prospera's perspective, having Bjorn pick up Suletta would interfere with both of their plans.
Well, I just meant from the perspective, if you think Prospera is docking with Mjorn's shuttle, that means that they've already passed Suletta. But
the docking of the shuttles is actually a metaphor for how they're working together.
Moving on. Do you think the Haro in the counseling room was was the one Roji is always carrying around, since he and Cecilia are both in the same house and dueling committee together?
It's likely. That's just like a good conservation of detail, right? It's like, yeah, I kind of left my robot back in the council room. I can't go back for it now, though. Criminals.
I just thought, since those two are so intrinsically tied together, it would
Hmm.
make sense that that would be the Haro to use to trick Martin.
Hmm. Gosh,
Oh,
just that scene alone is worth every meme.
first image to bring up. Ring 1. Mjorn is wearing her mother's ring now. Ring 1 shows her mother wearing the ring in the opening. So switch over to Ring 2.
Yeah, I think they made like a deal
Ring
or like
2.
mentioned it a couple.
Ring 2 shows her mother's funeral and her not wearing the ring. Switching over to Ring 3. I'm not going to let you get your whole thing out, Griff, until I'm done with this slideshow presentation I'm in the middle of. And Ring 3 shows Mjord now wearing the ring.
What else you got?
Well, you were about to say something, so I was waiting for you to finish.
Sorry, I thought you hadn't concluded your statement or like what your idea of the significance was. Like they've mentioned the ring before. Like there's been focus on it. It's supposed to be the tying together element of the drama there.
They actually haven't mentioned it before.
Really? I swear there definitely was a moment where they mentioned like the ring and putting it on and everything.
Nope.
Or like even giving it to Suletta. No, am I
Nope.
imagining that?
Sule's not wearing the ring, as I've just described through the course of 3 images.
I know she's not wearing it now. They talked about giving it to her.
No, they didn't. The only time Sule's ever mentioned the ring was during the fight 2 episodes ago, where she was gonna buy or have wedding rings.
Mm-hmm.
Never have they talked about exchanging rings.
All right. So, what else have we got here for pictures?
Fang Zhuan turns out to be from the Space Assembly League, the organization mentioned in the last time about handling the possibility of interplanetary war. Fang and her assistant have been undercover hanging around Mjorn this whole time, and previously asked her for company access in an information trade. Looks like they're now popping off.
Yeah, they have been just an element planted ages ago, and now they're about to twist literally everything. I get this vibe, this feeling in my gut that they are going to be the ones responsible for the forming of the good team here. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean by the good team.
I guess, okay, so if we have Gundam, we gotta have at least two different sides. One's gotta be the bad side, and the other one's gotta be the good side. We're in a period of everything politically shifting around. Uh, Fang and her friend are going to be the ones responsible for pulling together the good side and whatever situation they're in, and Prospera is already on that path of like being the villain, pulling together the big plan, and seems to have like a lot of other things around her. There's also Shadiq as well, who's clearly is being antagonistic to everyone.
Alright, here's the counter to you, Griff.
Yeah.
These people that you say represent the people that can bring together the good side, they represent the government, Griff. Government can never be the good side, can it? Versus
I'm not the one writing
Prospera.
the story.
Versus Prospera, who represents the anti-governmental authority that wants to rise up and change the world for a better good. So are you saying that Prospera's not on the good side?
Yeah. Prospera might be in the wrong somewhere here along.
I mean, a wise man once told me that a rebel has to sometimes stand alone to fight for the future that they believe in.
And sometimes somebody's just crazy trying to bring back their daughter to life, you know? You gotta make a couple exceptions for resurrection.
I mean, I believe she's trying to make a world in which Eri can be happy, not specifically a world where Eri is alive and happy. I mean, you get that a lot in some media. Or actually, no, what's that movie with
No,
the
that's
billboards?
actually a very good point of interpretation there. That's very, very good.
I was gonna say that movie with the billboards. Was it 4 billboards outside of some place? where they're trying to get the truth out there about an event happens to make a world that the person who died would have been better off living in than the world that they died in.
I mean, are we talking about what that one Christmas story or something else?
No, I think it's like 4 billboards out of something Texas. It's always a Texas thing.
Darn you, Texas. But no, I think you made like the more salient point there that the maybe the proper interpretation isn't literally transforming the world into one Ares is happy in, but rather metaphorically a world Ares would want.
That's always my goal. I say the same statement 5 times, and one of them was the good one.
There you go. All right. So, but yeah, no, I want to see him return. I want to see more Fang.
All right. Moving on to votes.
Ah, yes, the boot.
The Benner Group's strength forecast simulation clearly shows Shadiq is projected to win, with a breakdown of the percentage of their votes effect. With the collapse of Jet Turk heavy machinery, it looks like the other corporations elevated themselves in the company standing. As an alternative breakdown to the numbers shown on screen, Grassley Defense Systems vote is worth about 35% of the total of the Benner Group. Peel Technologies is worth about 29% of the Benner Group. Assumedly, other refers to a segment of the hundreds of smaller companies in the group and their support. In this case, Shadiq has swayed 17% of the Benner Group in total. And by comparison, Mjorn is showing that the diehard Delling supporters amount to about 17% of the group's total base power. On top of that, the other for them must also include the failing Jeturk Industries, which now encompasses about 2% of the remaining group.
Yeah, like looking at the numbers, Bjorn literally cannot win unless there's a whole bunch of people who have not voted yet.
Well, I mean, I was using more as an example of where the corporations as we knew stand them.
Oh yeah, yeah,
As we
yeah.
as we knew them, I don't know what words I just spat out there. As the corporations that we knew now stand in the power ranking structure, namely that 35% of the Benner Group's power structure is now Grassley, and 29% is Peel, whereas before Jeturk was the number one business.
Uh, I do find it funny, of course, that the biggest vote for Shadiq is literally his own company. just as an amusing note
I
here.
mean, it might also be falling down because, as we've already seen, Shadiq is selling off all of the Earth holdings of Grassley. And
Right.
Grassley
Yeah.
doesn't know that it's happening. I mean, the people doing the selling know it's happening, but specifically, he turns around after that moment and talks to his confidant and says that they won't realize it's happened yet.
Yeah, not every shareholder is up to date on every single action of a company. In fact, they probably don't care normally. Um so yeah, no, there could be like this weird possibility where suddenly the other people in control of Grassley decide to vote for Mjorn, which would be absolutely hilarious. Will it happen? I don't know. We'll have to see actually. I think some of this entirely depends on what happens down on Earth with Mjorn during her presentation. That is going to be the most dramatically critical moment here.
Alright, moving on to the wish list. Soleda's uncompleted 21st wish on her handbook is celebrate a birthday with friends. Things that she has accomplished. Number 17, eating lunch in a school cafeteria with friends.
Yeah,
Number
easy one.
18, raise hand in class in a cool way. Number 19, meet up with friends to go to and from school. Number 20, buy and eat a snack after school.
Hell yeah, that's a wish I can accomplish.
I think it's 20. I think I've written this down wrong. I think 22, go shopping with friends.
There you go. She's got a lot of stuff to do, and she's having fun. Except for birthdays. Those never
Was
go well for her.
was having fun.
Was having fun.
All
So there you
right.
go. Just
Moving
good
on
luck
to the
into her
next
mind.
one. Elin Saras.
Yes, the boy. The Personal Ability Evaluation System of Peel Grade.
Master Elin's AI given ability evaluation sheet. Verbal ability, double S. Nonverbal ability, double S. Structural grasping ability, double S.
What's structural
Adapt.
grasping mean?
I don't know. Probably the ability to grasp the way the world works. Adaptability S, but raises to a double S. Performance double S. Tolerance double S. Lowers to an S. Mobile suit piloting evaluation starts at a C, goes up to a B, then drops to a D. As also of note, he's listed as Mode 01, with the page going up to Mode 05, indicating that all the other enhanced persons with no Mode 06 in the lineup. Also, yes, I wrote also. He's been tested every single year for the last 4 years, likely indicating the phases where his scores changed.
Mm-hmm.
So he got better at worse at tolerating other people, slightly better at piloting a Gundam, and then way worse. Again, though, that's why we have the other enhanced people to do all the piloting, because Master Elin is no good at it.
Yeah, and this is, quote, Elin 5 is the closest to Master Elin here. So I would assume, like, everything except Gundam abilities. The fact that Master Elin is terrible at piloting totally makes sense for why there's 4 other ones of him running around that are way better.
Yep.
Elin 5 is good at piloting, right? We would agree on that.
Well, it's just the only reason for existing.
Yeah, exactly. We saw him literally slack off in a battle for fun.
Yep.
But also the idea that Elin 5 has like comparable like messing with people abilities is funny to think about.
Well,
If we have both of these two in a room working together, I'd be laughing, I think.
we never see him tab over, so we don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to see the whole spreadsheet here.
Alright. Next up is Gund Node.
Yes. The Vitruvian Gundam.
Gun nodes are equipped with a beam rifle and a beam blade, described as a gun bit for use with a data storm network, can support the expansion of Ariel's data storm. The purpose of the gun node network is to automatically defend and support the Ariel in the most optimal way by responding. There's a typo in their things. Don't blame me for this. By responding the enemy attacks and sharing stored tactical information.
Yeah, somebody definitely was trying to get the everything to fit onto the screen here with the slant. That is what happened.
But yeah, that's why I don't think that the node thing is about taking control of the entire Earth, given that these are like the Gundvolvas that we've seen before. In fact, I'm just going to switch over to the Gundvolva image that I have as well. Now, in Gunpla
almost 19
form,
meters, 44 tons. That might actually be lighter than a tank.
Well, the idea being that you would have to cover the Earth in them, basically, for that whole plan to work. And like I said, can't say anything about it. Prosperous had 17 years, and maybe 13 to 14 of them as the head of a company, so who knows?
Just for comparison's sake, a M1 Abrams tank is apparently 58 short tons or 53 tons. I think that might actually be the metric one, 53 tons.
Oh.
So comparably, the tank is heavier than the gun node here.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Ram the Gundam with a tank? There's no way for the physical weight of a tank to matter to a Gundam who could literally step over it.
I mean, if you're very fast with it, maybe.
Very fast with a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to bring up the height thing. I'll say, I think 18 meters is pretty still tall for most Gundams in most series. I know it's not very tall for a lot of, we've covered before, I think, either the Darabalde or one of the other ones is taller at like 19 or 20 meters. In this show, I believe the original Gundam was like either 16, somewhere between 16 and 18 meters.
Yeah, they were probably being like a little bit more conservative with their numbers at that time. That's what I would think. Here, this is probably just scaled up from the model.
Well, yeah. Yeah, because they try to make the models... when they design the Gundams, they both try to design them for both realism and for the Gunpla sets. They've got to
Yep.
make sense.
Speaking of Gunpla sets, I think that's the last image you got here.
Yep.
So let's take a look at this this bad boy here, the Gunvola. We got the beam rifle. We got like a nice big shield arm there with a couple of oh, the swords are on the underside of the shield. That's actually a very cute detail. I never considered where they actually were for a bit.
Well, like that conversation with the guy who designed the Ferract. Specifically, like, he designed the Ferract blades to be in the arms. Because the Ferract is not designed to be a melee combatant. So it's sort of a last-minute, not design decision, but a last-minute conceit towards the pilot. That they would need them. They would need them immediately, so no grabbing around.
Yeah, you're not preparing to go into melee. You gotta go. It's like, I'm firing until the last second.
Well, originally it was supposed to be like the hand pops off and, blades underneath. And then, apparently, they changed it for the episode, which changed the whole design. That does the whole RoboCop thing with the leg where the gun comes out, except he does it with the arm.
Yeah. So one goofy thing that I'm thinking about, right? So take a look at the gun here.
Well, yeah, why is Goofy anthropomorphic and Pluto is a dog? It never made sense. Sorry, was that not your goofy thought? I thought that was your goofy thought.
No, I got a second one here, actually. If you take a look at the gun here, so tell me what you think about it. That's like perfectly normal, right?
Hold on, I gotta bring it back up for the audience. Which one?
Just the gun, main one in the right arm here.
What about it?
So we got everything. It makes perfect sense here. We got like the front magazine here and everything. But if you notice at the top, that's like a hollow and or iron sight, right?
Probably. I mean, probably it's a camera. If you think about it, it's probably a camera tied into the optics of the piloting system, so that they can see where they're aiming at.
Well, I mean, like, I would assume, like, as a larger machine meant to work together, like, it wouldn't necessarily need anything like that. You aren't going to be physically lining it up and, like, closing one eye and aiming down it. It's like, no, this is a robot. You know where it's pointing.
So you're responding with your whole, that's an iron sight, right? And I've already responded with, it's a camera. So, if it's a camera, as I've just said, yeah, you're not doing this because you don't do that to a camera. As I've said, it's probably a visual aperture somewhere within the pilot thing so that you can see where your arm is pointed when you're holding the gun. Because you're not also going to eyeball it based on an arm that's not your own physical arm.
Just the way that it's built in visually is supposed to strike you as that. And yeah, the purpose, I agree.
I think it's
there's
just
a funny thing that hasn't happened, which I think is somebody just like holding their hand out around the side of like a wall or something, with the gun pointed somewhere. Then, if it's a camera on top, that would be something I haven't seen.
Probably because Gundam fights happen at a faster pace. You're not sneaking around corners in a 3-story tall building,
We're not the OG Gundam Zaku fight or something here.
Well, this isn't like Megamind, right? Not hiding behind a building in your giant guns. No. So yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't make sense for that. Plus, they have bullets that go through buildings, so it seems more likely that you're just gonna pop, 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 pop through the building than you are.
Let's commit a war crime together. So I think Theta, that is all of your thoughts, right?
Those are some of my thoughts.
You got more? Let's hear them.
Well, no, because I'm just gonna edit them out anyway. So let's just go ahead.
Most of my thoughts are for me. Let's talk about what happened last time on Our Empty Selves. Having lost her holder title and ownership of the Ariel, Suletta copes by focusing on her study. However, the Earth House sees that she is bottling up her feelings and takes her to meet Mjorn to talk things out. Meanwhile, with Shadik leading the election polls and Ghoul struggling to revitalize his company, Mjorn opts a campaign on peacefully ending the Earthian riots. Unaware, of course, that Shadik is stoking up the violence by selling weapons to Earth. Elsewhere, Valmora is assigned to develop an upgrade for the Ariel, but ends up being apprehended by the Space Assembly League agents. Anastasia, dueling committee, member Cecilia, learns that Earth House being suspected of terrorism was caused by Martin reporting Nika to the authorities. Arriving at Bjorn's location, Suletta is denied a meeting with her and instead led to the Ariel, Eric having convinced Prospera to let them talk. Eric then reveals Suletta is a clone of her, and that she can now pilot the Ariel by herself before pushing her away for her own safety. Afterward, Prospera tells her daughter to return to Astasia and leaves with the Ariel, causing the abandoned Suletta to finally break down.
I just realized something.
Yeah?
I think Quinn Harbor might be in the Middle East.
You think so?
Well, I mean, do you see the first frame of the show?
Not yet. What we got? Maybe. That's just an Earth shot.
It's just an Earth shot of where?
The Earth turns, they could go somewhere else.
It doesn't turn that
In
fast.
space, they can land anywhere they want.
No, they're little. You only show
What?
the part of the Earth that you're going towards.
Look, we're gonna have the second riots in the Middle East. Thanks, Gundam Double.
Look, also pointedly, the rest of the landmass of the Earth fades off into the distance, making the only point of the Earth that you can see right now literally the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that's the Nile right there. That's the one peninsula where we get shipping containers stuck in all the time. It's easy to figure out.
Oh gosh, we need another shipping container down there. But so something like I kind of forgot to think about here at some point. Suletta is a clone. So I remember the whole Elin 4 thing was like, I thought you were like me, which in retrospect is quite a bit of foreshadowing, isn't it?
Not really. They're not like each other. Elin 4 is a separate person who had an identity put on top of them and their mind messed with. Suletta is a clone. They're not another person who then had like another person put on top of them.
Well, literally, it would be you are also a clone being manipulated by people. Metaphorically, obviously, what he's going for, or emotionally, is you understand you're being manipulated and resent your position, which Suletta was not even aware of.
Well, once again, you can't say like Elin 4 foreshadowing shit. I had you read 2 pages of a novel that said Elin's whole shtick before we knew what it was. We did that in episode 2 pre-discussion part because, like I said, I was reading the book over his shoulder, Googled up where the fuck that book came from, or what book that was from, and then got the synopsis of what that book was about. So, quite obviously, Elin 4's whole shtick was known to us before we knew Elin 4 was a thing.
Right. So I think at least going into the episode here, I think the things I'm interested in are who's going to pick up Suletta, how they're going to talk to her and get her out of her state right now, given everything that just happened to her. And 3, how much of all of this they're going to know once Suletta starts blathering about it. How many people are going to suddenly realize, 1, she's a clone, 2, her dead sister is inside the Gundam, and 3, Prospera is going down to Earth to call some shit.
Well, I mean, put yourself in this position, right? Like, say... God, I don't know.
I'm pulling in Theta from the airlock, and Theta, you immediately go, my life is a lie, I've been a fake all along.
No, I don't mean put yourself in the position like that, I mean put yourself in Soletta's shoes.
Okay,
I'm trying to make an Earth-like analogy, and it's really hard. Well, I mean, just like...
You're on Spacians.
Alright, anyway, imagine, I'm not even going to try to analogize all the other shit. Imagine that you just had somebody else's memories of their, like, entire life up to a certain point put in your head. how would you even know what parts of it were important? This follows the whole meme of how'd you know the parts you weren't there for, right? How would
Yeah.
you know the parts of another person's life that were important, not having been to them?
I believe in real life there is a people who do have eidetic memory. There are some people who literally remember every single thing that happens to them, and from their perspectives, from like interviews, talking with people, they say it's like, yeah, no, there's a lot of bullshit that just is not important, and it sucks to just have it in my head.
Right,
Remember
well,
the time you go to the bathroom thing?
I do. It's not a fun
Yeah.
experience. No, my
So,
point
so
is,
yeah, no, it's like having all those memories. Like, yeah, how do you sort through? Like, wait, which of this is important?
well, my point being is that sure, Soletta gets in with her friends or whatever, right, and starts babbling. I don't think the first thing you babble about is all these new memories in your head because I think you push those back. I think that's called repression because to you personally, they're not important. It's information, sure, but you don't know what anything that has to do with anything about you.
You have no
What you
connection to
know
anything.
right now is that your sister pushed you away and that your mother has said go away. That's what you know right now. And then you have all this other shit in the background that you can't parse. So I think the emotionality takes over, and she doesn't babble about that other nonsense.
My family abandoned me for their revenge and didn't take me with them. Yeah, no, that's gonna be.
Well, they
How do you
didn't talk about
disentangle
that.
that though? That's even worse for Suleta.
Well, they didn't talk about the revenge to Suletta.
I I feel like Suleta probably grasped the concept.
I don't think she does. One, she's
I think that'll be
repressed.
interesting then.
I mean, one, she's repressive, so I don't know
Mhm.
that she does or would even want to think about something like that. But two, she got Aries memories, which go from 1 to 4. So, I mean, I guess
There's
maybe.
also 17 years of working together in the first place too.
Right. But we know how Ariel thinks about it, and Ariel
Mhm.
didn't want to get Suletta involved. So, why would she then tell her about a revenge plot that she doesn't want her to get involved in?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense from Aries' perspective to tell her things she doesn't have to know, and it doesn't
Mhm.
make sense from Soleil's point of view to even figure it out.
Right. So so yeah, no, that's the big drama of this episode. Oh boy, where the hell is it gonna go?
If you're to be believed, a massacre on Earth. Again, I've never watched Code Geass. I mean, I sent you the GIF because it was
Mhm.
funny, but
Yeah.
I have no context for it myself.
I'm literally imagining Mjorn right now gunning down civilians, and it is a hilarious image.
Well,
The most out of character thing possible.
the idea is entirely possible that Mjorn could be in the mobile suit, and then Eri just takes over all the other mobile suits around it and causes a fight.
Yeah.
Without anybody's involvement. But I think that's what our commenter was talking about before. Why would Prospera do that when she needs Bjorn to win the presidency?
These are all really good questions.
So I guess what can go wrong on Earth, not caused by Prospera and not stopped by Prospera?
It's a ticking time bomb with every element that has been put into play. Shadi could just come in and ruin things.
I don't know, because last time we saw Sadiq, he was being told about Mjorn's plan to stop the riots, and he looked more thoughtful than anything. So I
Yeah.
think, in the end of the day, I know we keep a lot of people. I don't think I've specifically said this, but a lot of people have said that Sadiq is like the villain or the antagonist here.
Yeah.
But Shadiq's motives are to end the fighting on Earth, so I don't see why he would cause an upset to Mjorn's trying to stop a fighting on Earth.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Shadiq like considers Bjorn's actions to be like within his own moral desires for what's supposed to happen here, or if he considers practically that it might get in the way.
Well, I mean, because we
I
know
think those would be the competing things on his
we
side.
know the extremes that Shadiq is willing to go to, right? Like the fact
Yeah.
that he basically has kidnapped his own adopted father to get that access. Well, after he had access to being in control of Gundam Inc., and then they went through the duel and he lost the duel, he didn't pull more shenanigans to get control of Gundam Inc. He could have, didn't. So it seems like he's just more than willing to let things lie, so long as they, one, don't interfere with him, or two, help his ultimate goal.
Yeah. So that is at least 3 different elements that we kind of got to keep a watch on here. We also have the what happened to Balmora kind of arc, but whether or not they give that to us this episode could be like a coin flip, honestly.
I mean, interrogation and arrest.
Yeah, is that going to be now? Is that going to be later? We'll have to
Technically, she's been doing human experimentation, which, if I recall, that's illegal in some countries. Although you get to tell a lot of people about it, and they seem to be okay.
So, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice my arm and my brother for power, and I guess, Theta, you ready to get watching?
Sorry, there was supposed to be a clever quip in there, but I just couldn't figure one out.
Well, before we can figure out our clever quips, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's also for a channel, just a little bit extra. That feels like Shadiq's voice actor, which is hilarious.
It's been forever since we've seen Earth. I mean, at least he's being real about it.
Yeah, he's just trying to be personable.
The soundtrack, though.
Yeah, it's very
sci-fi.
Yeah, ominously spacey is what I go with.
Okay, so the Space Assembly League has forced our hand. Is that that's
yeah,
gonna be our
captured... Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be our motive for starting early.
There we go. Yeah, and because Balmora got captured and is about to be interrogated, they're just like, let's go before she blathers everything.
Well, I mean, as covered before, she's had, let's say 15, just go with 15 years to set up everything in play. Don't know how long it took to develop Quiet Zero, but I mean, if she knew she was going to go with a Quiet Zero type thing, could have spent the next, however many years building gun nodes.
Yeah,
No surer sense tells me Griff has no further thoughts than, yeah,
No, I was about to think, like, if she is producing these things, like, my question is, like, where exactly, and, like, with whom?
That other guy was on the phone with. Also pointing out that Delling is in the opening. So far yet to be in the show.
He'll come back for exactly 1 episode at the end, like last time.
Yeah, wake up in the last episode. I'm still president, right?
Sir, a lot has happened. I can't wait to hear how my daughter married that cute redhead. I sure that went over well.
How fares the war in Europe?
Oh, they're just misinterpreting it.
厩舎の掃除されてない。マルタンは
村にしたらバラすから。
僕は
Sounds about right.
しかしそのチクられた子、なんだっけ、ほら。
LM236、ニカナナウラ。
Yeah, so maybe it was his Haru, like I said.
震えて眠れってやつ？弱者同士で差し合うってほんと笑える。
そうだよ、弱者だよ。君たちみたいな勝ち組に何がわかるんだ。地球寮をこれ以上悪い立場には置けない。僕は寮長として。
厄介ごとに巻き込まれたくなかった。聞くことを途中で諦めた自覚がある。だから周りにも打ち明けられない。違う？
そうだよ。僕はニカと話すことを諦めた。
I wonder if this starts the Martin/Celia ship.
だけど、あの時
It's definitely his arc right now.
みんなを守る一番の方法だって。
And he gets no respect.
弱者が一丁前に意地張ってんの。うざいんですけど。
Poor Barton. Get that man a hug.
I mean, in other underage anime sort of thing. Indirect kiss! Oh man, is this gonna be a callback to episode 2's thing where the monkey cancer thing was spreading through a front?
I mean, it just sounds like an ordinary precaution to me at the very least, but that would be funny.
Do you remember that was in the news thing?
Oh,
I did a whole research about what the hell that was.
The plot point's coming back. No more violence.
武装はなくともあれだけで威圧効果は十分ですな。
ミオリネ・レンブランは間もなく交渉に入るようですわ。ガンダムでアーシャンを潰す。
Oh, they're getting the watch party started.
増えたりしてね。
ありえませんよ。元よりミオリネが許さない。
Shadiq has been in a room with actual Elin before, so...
This is the harshest interrogation I've ever seen.
理事会は今、ベネリットを強引に押さえつけようと画策。
And we know what happens with that.
最悪。
Remember when the Benerit group forcibly suppressed Ox Earth?
私たちは双方が協調できる道を見つけたいの。グループが不利になれば、協約違反のスケープゴートにされるのはあなたよ。ウィンストンさん。
That's also a huge coffee
自分を
cup.
粗末にしちゃダ
Or
メ。
tea.
だからお願い。あなたの知っていることを教えて。私には関係ない。女子会、本当にしたかったのよ。
Ah, it's
Weird.
ominous.
なんでここがバレてるんだ。わかりませんよ。代表、一度
Put an end to their monopoly on permit?
Fight for Earth, save our Earth.
It's the moment they said put an end to your monopoly on permit, it's like, wait a second. Was this protest organized by Roleplay?
おいガキ、離れよ。
なんだよ、何もしてないだろ。
関係者以外は若社長も止まらないで。ミオリネ、交渉は一人でできるか。
何言ってんの？当然でしょ。
I've got a terrible backstory to go catch up on.
若社長、ああもう代表から目を離すのよ。代表。
ええ。皆さん、ごきげんよう。ミオリネ・レンブランです。今日はあなた方と対等に対話できることを望みます。
対等ね。どうぞこちらへ。
Just leaving her hanging.
Look, I know we've suppressed your entire people forever, but you don't have to be a jerk.
新たな開発拠点の建設を考えています。これにより現地雇用率は最大で 30% 増加。
1529人。プラントクエタの後、
あんたたちの犯人探しで生死不明になったアーシアンの数だよ。
理由も示さず連行し監禁して、一部では拷問も行われている。
私たちはそんな指示は
知らないだけだろ。パーメットの独占、戦争シェアリングによ
Well, if you know they aren't informed about it, then
それだけでも我慢ならないが、法律すら無視して我々を苦しめるというなら、こちらも同じことをするまでだ。スペーシアンは全員地球を出ていけ。それが我々の要求だ。
It seems like a solid argument to me.
私も詳しくは株式会社ガンダムとの合同事業だとかで。
ミオリネが
yeah, I mean, you understand you're agreeing with segregation, Griff, right?
I don't know. Stop coming here and killing us sounds pretty solid to me. She is breaking down though.
ちょっと拝借。うわ
Don't let Sophie be on one of these pages. I don't want to see that.
Oh my word. Oh, fighting's starting again.
You know they're a ship somewhere too, right?
Oh, totally.
I feel like she has to be on some sort of drug that she's had withdrawals from. Because it doesn't seem purely emotional. Never mind. Now I understand.
何なんですか今の。
君にはわからないよ。絶対。
Oh god, that ship got a lot better, didn't it?
Elon 5 actually, like, showing emotional support. Never thought I'd see the day.
技師？
私が代表を務める会社で扱う医療装具です。設計・開発したのはアスティカシア学園に通うアーシアンの生徒たち。
武器商人が今度は医療製品を売りつけるのか。
あなたは先ほどスペーシアンは地球を出ていけと。
ああ、
だとするとアーシアンも宇宙を。
そうなる。
それだけは断固拒否します。
Again, segregation. It's not a good plan.
私の大事なパートナーです。分断で失うわけにはいきませんから。あなた方アーシアンの憤りを理解できるとは考えていません。経済的な障壁も同様です。それでも私は対話を望みます。どうかお願いします。
決定権を持たないあなたの話をどう信じろと。
私が総裁だったら信用してもらえますか。
なるつもりかね。
今の私に必要
Time for the Earth vote.
交渉は受け入れられない。10日、総裁選の結果が出るまでだ。それまでは抗議活動を一時休止し。
I mean, the Earth vote doesn't matter, if you recall. Shaddiq is selling everything off of Earth anyway.
それに、話すならあれについて話したい。
Means the entire side of the Earth operation would have no vote.
ありがとうございます。
Kinda just waiting for Choo Choo to come up and punch her in the back of the head.
Oh gosh, bedhead Suletta. Ah, the whole tub of ice cream.
スレッタ来たぞ。私まだここの上下が。スレッタ先輩の席。
And we also now get to see the shirt that's underneath the uniform.
Because she hasn't even taken off the uniform.
保存してたやつ使わなきゃいけなくなっちまってさ。スイッチ入れ忘れたからだろ。
そんなわけでいつもより豪勢なんだ。せっかくだから明るいところで食べようって。はい。 ですか？はい。美味しいです。
Oh god, it is that gif.
食おうぜ。
Oh, just happens here.
At least I still have my friend's gif that was floating around.
マルタン。
もっぺん言ってみろ。管理者の方が正しかったってのかよ。
そうだよ。ニカはテログループに協力してた。だから僕は管理者に通報して。
ニカさんはソフィーさんとノレアさんを止めようとしてました。学園を壊そうとしたわけじゃ。それでもよ、アシュラのこと騙して許せるわけねえだろ。
Because you love her, Chu! Go to her!
ニカのことはニカに聞くしかない。
ティール。
僕はマルタンの悩み気づいてあげられなかったから。
I almost didn't recognize this guy with his hair down.
I know, right?
機嫌が治るまでだよ。
ごめん、ティール。僕は。俺多分マルタンと同じことするわ。
いやでも仲間だろ。
一番いいやり方じゃないって分かってても、そうするしかない時あるんじゃないでしょうか。
聞いたよ、シーシアのこと。お墓作ってくれたって。
俺にはあれくらいのことしか。
おいガキ、フォルドの仲間もここにいるのか？
あとガキじゃなくてセドワンチェク。一応特定復興計画の指定避難民。
もういいでしょう。戻りますよ。
These two in undercover
ベネリ
mode.
ットって俺みたいなアーシアン拾ってくれる学校あるんだろ？
学校？
若社長。
俺も入れてくんない？
おそらくアカデミーのことでしょうな。
グラスレーの育成プログラムですか？
あそこは実力主義ですからね。戦争シェアリングで身寄りをなくした孤児も引き取って再教育してるんです。
We'll have Jaturk start one here then. I know you're not doing great economically, but start.
俺はグラスレーの人間じゃない。アカデミーの OB を頼れ。
なんだよ。俺もプリンスみたいになりたいのにさ。
プリンス？
そのなんとかってとこ出てて。
learn perspective.
支援してくれるすっげえ人だよ。俺さ、ソフィーやノレアみたいにモビルスーツ乗るより学校の方が興味あった。
何時さん？
お前、その話誰から聞いた？
誰って大人がみんな知ってるだろ。
ケナンジさん、何を？
シャディク・ゼネリの呼び名ですよ。
え？
イエル・オグル。養子になる前の彼の名前です。欠物でしたからね。その名にちなんでアカデミー時代はプリンスと呼ばれてた。さっき言ったな、みんな知っているって。そんな報告は一度も出てこなかったよ。フォルドの夜明けと一緒にいたお前以外のアーシアンからは。
Oh, they're putting the dots together.
失礼します。グエル、あんたどこに？
シャディクだ。オープンキャンパスもプラントクエタも全部あいつが仕組んだ。
Are you about to be attacked?
Inches away.
I didn't know until we got into the inside of the thing that Kaji wasn't in that thing following him.
グエル、アスティカシアに戻って。
学園に。
サリウス代表を抑えれば証拠になる。シャディクなら一番身近で安心できる場所に置いておきたいはず。
クラスレーリョ。
あら、お帰りですか？
急遽そういうことになりまして、お先に失礼しますよ。
承知しました。では始めましょう、エリー。
And now that everyone's leaving, Prospera's all on her own.
What's the play?
Good question.
It is just the simple thing that we thought was too simple, I guess.
Just take over.
No, making them shoot at each other. Literally what I said earlier. She's making a fight so that she can fight.
非武装であるためここより退避します。
待て、もちろん。
ミオリネ代表、今地球にいらっしゃるのね。なぜクイーン。
But the stupid bit is, who the hell wouldn't have seen that gun bit flying by and then coming back?
Are we just supposed to assume that any drone means that everything's been hacked and it's gonna be a false flag? A reject call from Yorn.
But what is Prosper's target on Earth?
This.
コードネームソフィー・プロネ登場機ルブリスウルコードネームノレア・デュノク登場機ルブリスソン所属元オックスアースプラント・クエタとベネリットの学園を襲撃した2機のガンダム
Okay, so Oxearth had a bunch of prototypes.
21年前に言ったでしょ上は強引に押さえつけようとしてるってまさか一度壊滅したオックスアースを工作組織として支援しているのは議会連合の理事会よ確証はないけどね
Oh, that's a drop.
ガンドの理念を踏みにじった大罪人が今度はエリーの未来を邪魔するなんて
So you're gonna destroy all the other Gundams.
Yeah. She'll be the only one with the Gundam.
Well, no, because Fract is still out there, and now Schwartz, too. That's a...
They're next.
No, she had all the opportunity to destroy it, but she didn't. That's a hard order to give. Stop defending yourselves!
残念だよ失礼する
待ってください話を
代表もこちらへ
プラントクエタそこにあるの彼女が取り憑かれているクワイエットゼロを構成する一部だクワイエットゼロ
とにかくプラントへ急ごう
Assassinated. Oh no. But who?
Oh, of course, from the beginning of the episode.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
I mean, you knew that guy was up to no good from the first time we saw him.
It's the first time he's done anything.
Oh, and we're back to this.
And it was that day that kid wanted to become a Gundam.
スペーシアン
俺の言った通りになったけどどうするのこれ
船を呼んだわモビルスーツとサビーナたちも
プロスペラ・マーキュリーはやはり気づいていたグエル怪我したなミオリネを
What the fuck did Ghoul do?
Put her into the position to end up being the one taking the fall.
Yeah, there's no way Suletta would be able to enact that plan.
お母さんならきっとこうするって分かってたから一番いいやり方じゃなくてもああするしかなかったから私何も分かっていなかった
Oh, the heartstrings.
私のせいだ私がこれを
I mean, technically, I guess, but not in any appreciable way that anybody would put blame. Well, I guess they did actually put blame on you.
They
so.
literally just did.
I mean, yeah, but anyone who knows all the facts would not put all the blame. Yeah.
There's 2 people who do right now, maybe 3.
Right. And I mean, after the fact, it's really hard to convince people of what really happened because people are not incentivized to believe the truth when the reality that exists before them is more real than the truth.
Right, the success of a false flag is getting people to act on information before further clarification happens. At which point it is too late now.
Yeah, I said, it's
They
hard
sunk
to...
Lusitania
It's
already.
a hard order to give to stop defending yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we
Yeah.
know that it's highly unlikely for the tank to do any damage to a mobile suit.
Gosh, it really literally just ramped up the whole time.
次回望みの果て
I feel like this should have been the name for this episode. But I mean, given... What was the name of this episode again? Not the best way?
Yeah, not the best way.
Yeah, we already knew this was going bad. And you already knew from your context of Code Geass and then having the same writer that what this was going to possibly entail.
Well, it wasn't Bjorn picking up an assault rifle and going ham, but oh gosh.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
no, it was going to go wrong from the beginning.
You know, well, I mean, from a certain point there, it looked like things were going to go okay. That things were actually going to work out. And then Prospera just does the thing that I said was going to happen, which is get them to fire at one another.
Yeah, no, this is actually the same. Prospera is using Bjorn to take the fall for everything, and then moving forward with the plan. Oh gosh, no.
Because she's just the blood-covered daughter of Delling. So she doesn't...
did it to me again.
She doesn't care what happens to Bjorn. Hell, she's actively already separated Bjorn from Sula, which means that Bjorn's fall has nothing to do with Suletta anymore, and it's just all going to fall father to daughter. So, double revenge.
Ah, gosh, the whole episode ramped off. It started almost Space Odyssey-esque, spending 5 minutes just chilling in space and vibing to the music. And at the end, it just accelerated and dropped bomb after bomb, not only on civilians, but also us.
I think the thing is that the show started from the school side, right? Not this episode specifically, but I mean the show as all. So, we get the perspective of Shadiq, man, is a master manipulator, and we barely see Prospera throughout it. And then we get slowly more and more bites of Prospera, and the show is like, you know, that Shadiq guy, he's a master manipulator. You know, he's really still a teenager. Let's just show you how an adult does this.
Let me show you what a pro going after for revenge for the last 20 years can do.
I mean, it's basically that. We got the child side version of everything, and now we're being led into the adult half, which is everything the kids were doing, but adult. So it's...
Put on the helmet, Shadiq. Get in the Gundam, Shadiq.
Well, Shadiq hasn't lost everything that he needs to wear a helmet to see all the things that he's lost. Remember, they speak to me every day in my ears. Kill them all. Because she has the helmet to speak to Eri, but apparently, according to Prospera, Eri is whispering kill them all in her ear all the time.
Oh, gosh. Just... Literally the last 5 minutes, I gotta go back again just to catch, all of the details. Everyone's individual perspective and understanding of it, is so critical and just fascinating.
Well, I know I'm gonna have to go back specifically and rewatch for the Space Assembly League bits, because I'm still a bit confused on what they're going with that. But assuredly, by episode 19 reaction, I'll be back fully understanding.
We're gonna have another big Theta thoughts at the start of next episode. Everyone get ready.
Well, no, because it's like a solid line thing. So at most, you'll have 1 to 2 thoughts of me explaining where I'm at now in my thought process.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, because it looked like they were unveiling something pretty important that I wasn't understanding at the moment. Specifically, allegiances weren't as they seemed to be, and I just wasn't following on board. But again, like I said,
in the middle of it, they said, the Space Assembly League's is after the people who were doing this project in secret, but are now the head of this council.
We're secret supporters of Ox Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is now everybody who seems to secretly actually be in favor of Gundams who were against it before. Also, why did Prospera destroy all the Gundams when she could have just used them as Gundam nodes?
Maybe they got to be hooked up for it. No, that's not true. They just demonstrated it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, they use permit. All Gundams use permit. They would have just been extra Gundams. Why did she just not use them?
I guess she just doesn't want anyone else to be on top of her plan or capable of stopping her.
But if she's controlling them, who's going to use them against her then? Nobody has access to this whole thing but Eri. And no one's more loyal to their mother than Eri is.
No, the answer is Shadiq. Shadiq lost all of his advantage right there.
That's not the answer.
Gundams.
Sorry, my brain was just like you put like a monkey wrench in the gears of my brain. That's not the answer, because that's not the question. You're answering a different question.
Oh my gosh, is the show rated R?
No.
Okay, sorry. I'm just looking at the sidebar here, which just like has a whole bunch of information. And I'm just like, wait a second, hold on.
It's not rated R in America. I don't know if R means something different in Japanese television show stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I want more episodes. I need the next one. I need more drama. Give it to me. Inject into my veins.
So there is something else I'll tell you about after stream that you might be interested in. But, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to rewatch this. I mean, obviously, I already rewatch this when I'm doing editing and everything, but specifically, there's so much happening here. So much happening here that isn't directly action. That requires a go back. Like, I want to see Suletta breaking it all down again. Because her understanding of the situation, as I've described it before we watched the episode, I'm emotionally bad, did not follow through how I understood that situation emotionally.
Right. Oh, gosh.
Like you were saying, my heartstrings. I'm like, I don't feel anything for what's happening right now. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling Suletta just finally putting everything together and realizing the pain that her sister's going through.
See, I felt more for the I still have my friends scene before.
I felt there too.
Yeah, well, I felt all of it there. And then when she's realizing, oh, that's what Eri was doing, and she was pushing me away because that's all she felt she could do, and it's like, for that, I was still so confused about all the stuff. It's like I'm getting hit too fast. I can only handle one emotion at a time.
Oh, jeez. So, I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. We're going to go ahead and rewatch this and figure stuff out. But for right now, this has been Stone-Faced Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin. That's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?